bookworms, welcome back to the channel, your cozy corner for all things books. So, today's episode is going to be a little different because I am not alone today, and I'm very excited for this. Joining me today is someone who navigates the fascinating world of psychological and nonfiction books with far more expertise than I do. So, welcome my brilliant friend, Shefali. So, Shefali, thank you for being here.
Thank you, Shivali, for having me here. I'm such honored to be on your show, and thank you for giving me warm welcome.
Oh, that's so sweet of you. So, we thought that it would be such a blast to chat about a book that Shefali swears by. And I haven't read it, so it would be a new discovery for me as well. Today, we are talking about Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. So, let's talk about the ingredients of success, the conversation of hard work, talent, and how much role does luck actually plays, and if we have underestimated it. Okay, so Shifali, I am going to throw you your first question.
Yes.
So before we get into outliers, I want to ask you what other books you read or what kind of books you like prefer reading.
Oh, so nice question. Like, actually, I was not a reader initially, and my reading was accidentally discovered when I was living in a place where my friends were not there, and so I was alone. And going to a place known as Lajpat Nagar actually made me read. So it's a very fascinating part that, going to shopping and you get to, discover your reading habit. So there was a very good incident, and I really, owe that person. So there was a bookseller who used to sell second-hand book under the metro station in Lajpat Nagar, and when I was returning to home, so a couple of book titles attracted me the most, and the attraction was, you know, um, majorly because of the title. They were very exciting titles related to personality development and psychological aspect of it. So that attracted me, and I personally don't believe in going to one genre. It's mostly the title which give me instinct to read. I can read anything. I mean, it depends upon if I really like it or not.
So that makes so much sense, and especially from your recommendation that you have given for today's talk, and it also seems that you do judge a book by its cover, as apparently we should not, but it works for you, it works for you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so do you remember what, like, I know the answer you have already given to this question is that the titles attract you, but did does it stand true for Outliers as well?
So this book was, probably one of the first book which I started reading. With respect to the psychological aspect, and some of the aspect of this book are very. I found it very real. Sometimes in life things are hidden in certain aspect, but we are not able to look at it. And some of the aspects and which are written in this book, I found it's very true. And the beauty of this book is, author has not only just given the statements, but the author has devised the reason why the things are happening, and the cause and effect of the aspect the author has given. So when I started reading the outliers, then I just got to know the author more, and I was fascinated what the author was talking about. And then I read almost all the books of Malcolm Gladwell. I mean, he is one of the best writer, which I really love, and I I really look forward to read all of his book, because he doesn't he I mean the book gives answer with a lot of subtle attitude, and with a lot of reasoning all around the aspect.
Oh, wow, that's great. So actually, I haven't read any of his books, so this is completely new for me, and I think I should try one of his books, right?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course. I mean, you can start with the outliers for sure. I mean, because we're just talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah. So moving forward, as you are recommending me to take up this book next, so
yeah.
let me know what is the core message of Outliers and what is Gladwell actually trying to convey to us.
Okay. So, as I, just said in my last question, answer, that, the author is narrating couple of incidents. I mean, the whole book is all about incidents. And the he is, explaining the cause and effect, the suspected uh, cause and the effect of it. And so there are like two aspects of it. Um, it's like like something is happening, right? Something is happening, but uh, but at the same time, a person with whom things are happening, he has to work according to that direction only, right? For example, if I just quote that, plant are blooming, right? So, okay, nature plays a huge role in, blooming the plants. I mean, the pollination works, the wind drives, and, things go around the plant. But the seed also have to work hard at the same time to, to grow and, to develop and to mature and to, sustain the difficult terrain or the environment wherein it is put in. So I would say, like, the nature might be playing 90% of the role, but 10% is what at most important, to think, to make things happen, right? I mean, um so there are a couple of incidences wherein, the Gladwell talked about, people being having what they are right now currently, but uh, giving all the situation all around, the person has also made a huge effort in, making things happen according to it. For example, I will just quote it again. If you talk about Bill Gates, we all know Bill Gates, right?
Yes.
And when we hear Microsoft, Bill Gates' name automatically comes into our mind. But if you look to the childhood of Bill Gates, he was like one of the person who got all luxury of learning the computer science, wherein people were not having access to it. Like, he was practicing code at the time where people was not having access to the computer environment.
Yeah.
So irrespective of, so there can be like two aspect of it. I Like I said, he's a one person is getting whole full environment of uh education, like learning computer science. But the same time, this child just focused over learning also. He has put his own effort also, and at the same time the child also liked it. I mean, there can be incidents like child must be loving to explore things. I mean, but he might not like to computer, but it was like, okay, he was also mentally prepared,
Yeah.
and at the same time, he got environment. So it was like, two pieces of puzzles are fixed, and now he is shining. Yeah, so that's it.
Okay, so that was a very fascinating answer. That leads to my next question. Does
Okay.
this book lean towards a single individual factor like talent, hard work, or luck, or
Mm-hmm.
just talks about all of them together? Or
Mm-hmm.
can we, or our viewers can just read this book and come to one conclusion that, okay, this aspect is important, luck or talent or hard work?
Okay. Okay. It's really tough to answer. Like, I don't believe that there is one single angle to look upon it. And so, in analytics, there is a concept known as regression analysis,
Yeah.
and it helps to predict the outcome based upon the certain factors. So the factor which are chosen, you know basically is all about what we observe as a human being, right? Or
Yeah.
like what we generally observe in in our daily life. So there are technically infinite factor to to uh, to make certain outcomes to happen. So it's not something that there is we should work upon. We should only do hard work, or we should only uh, take luck as our factor to uh, to make things possible. It's like amalgamation of everything all together. So for example, in marketing, there is there is a 4P concept, wherein uh, when in everything, like people, the place, the time, the resources should be at the same, at the right time. So
Yeah.
when things click at the right times, things do happen, and all the ingredients of things should take place at the same time. But at the base of it, like
Mm.
if one has to develop personally, one has to work hard. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not saying that people should not work hard. Work hard and work smart as well. So there is not something
Working smart, I think, is more important than just working hard, right?
yeah,
As we are
yeah.
seeing in today's world. But
Yeah,
so,
but I disagree with your point. I mean, working hard, it's still valid today. Smart is something, for example, smart is something like, we are doing the podcast thing, right?
yeah. Mm.
This is a smartness. We are not living together. We are just far off, but we want to make things happen. We are doing podcast, right? So I think hard work is something, it comes with an attitude, right? There are, the base of any personality or base of anything will always have an hard work to it. Like smart works comes when you actually uh, have done a lot of hard work.
I completely agree with that concept, but I
Yeah,
am just saying that just hard work, blindly doing work is
yeah,
not paying off now, right? You have to be smart about your hard work as well, because
exactly,
you
exactly.
have to put the hard work in the right place,
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I mean,
right?
yes, of course. Yeah, for exactly. So for example, you are having your own YouTube channel, and you are just you are reading books, and then you thought, okay, let me just take it to the another level. So and you're making the videos, right? So for example, your first video might not be as polished as the last one which you did, or you know so it's like you're doing the
It's not
hard work.
polished enough.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, right. So you're doing hard work. I mean, you are doing the basic hard work which is required, but at the same time, with time, you are knowing like how to be smart. I mean, how to make things more polished, and to be more effective, so that people come to your platform and listen to you, right? And if one thinks it will take a point. So Malcolm Gladwell, there is another book called Tipping Point, and
Yeah.
I forgot the what book is all about. I mean, right now I don't remember that book, but it says that there is a certain amount of time which takes place to make things happen, and it just steps out. I mean,
Yeah.
it will just go exponentially. For example, you are having your own YouTube channel, and right now, I mean, might be very few viewers out there, right? Who are
Yeah.
like watching continuously, following you,
Yeah.
and there will be a tipping point wherein things will exponentially grow up, right?
Hopefully.
And now you cannot compare yourself to the people who have started way before earlier,
Yeah.
because they have already created a niche in the market. They are getting the first mover advantage, because that time people were not having like more channels to watch through. I'm
Exactly.
certain there are like hundred thousands of people who are just doing the same thing which you are doing, but people
Yes.
have started earlier.
And doing it much better.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that was really good advice. And thank you for appreciating my work. Thank you so much for that.
Uh,
So let's bring back the book in this again. So when I was researching, I made a note of this that there is one specific rule that has been talked about this in this book a lot, and that is a
mhm.
10,000 hour rule, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So firstly, you need to tell me firstly, just in brief, what is it and
Mhm.
how does it like resonate with others, or if any examples you remember from the book.
So I really believe that 10,000 hours rule is one of the aspect wherein people can really work on the work, and then they can be the the polished version of that work. I don't personally think that this was one of the first book wherein 10,000 hours was written.
Okay.
I mean, I was a person who saw, I just get to know this concept after reading this book. So I really believe personally, in with this rule, and agree with this rule, because when I look back to the people like Saint Bolt, Bill Gates,
Hmm.
Salvatore Femagaro, who is like a shoemaker, well-known shoemaker,
Hmm.
Michael Jackson, or any personality you take in hand, like Sachin Tendulkar, Lata Mangeshkar. If you go back to their childhood, like
Yeah.
very early in their childhood, these people have got an opportunity, or they started working in the area like where they are flourished now. So when you I as I have already talked about Bill Gates, when you hear the story of Salvatore Ferragamo, so he was in early in his childhood, like when he was like he was like 3 years or 5 year old, he started making shoes. And imagine like a 5 year old child learning how to make shoes.
Hmm.
And the story is very interesting because
Yeah.
right from at the age of 5 year, a person is practicing something. So definitely when he will be in his 20s, he will be
Yeah.
expert, right? When you talk about the famous athlete Usain Bolt, he had already developed the fascination of sports early in his childhood.
Hmm.
And because he was mentally prepared, and he was also physically preparing himself for the Olympics right from the childhood.
Yeah.
So I would say the situation around him also made him what he is now. And at the same time, he also personally developed himself. If you
He
know
has put in a lot of effort in himself. Actually, all
exactly,
of them, whatever examples you gave, all of them, if we consider all of them, they have given
exactly,
a certain time to themselves to become what they
exactly.
are today.
Exactly. And with no pressure altogether. I mean, there
Yeah.
was no pressure from the society that, Salvatore has to become a shoemaker, or he was thinking about, making a big brand out together. Like he traveled from Europe to US to, find the opportunity. He has seen the hard times, and I think I have watched his documentary in Amazon Prime, and it was very, it was very wow kind of thing. I mean, so there was an incident where Salvatore was he was like, there was an accident, and he lost his brother, and
Hmm.
he had a fracture in his leg,
Hmm.
right at the hospital bed. Because he was a shoemaker, right in a hospital bed, he found out the equipments which were put on his leg was not aptly designed.
Oh.
So when yeah, so when he was in a hospital bed, he designed an equipment. He just registered it for IPM, and it was in his name. So it was very fascinating. And
Wow.
also he was a shoemaker, right?
Yeah.
And he studied human physiology, I guess in LA or somewhere.
Hmm.
So, think about a shoemaker
Yeah.
studying the human physiology, right? Because he
Yeah.
was so much into the, making the shoes. And so definitely, all the small steps made him what he is now. Or when we talk about Lata Mangeshkar, if read the stories about the Lata Mangeshkar, I think when she was like 2 years or 3 years, or very small, she used to see uh, what her father is doing. Her father was actually a singer. I was into that field, and she was passively learning. She was
Mm.
passively learning, not knowing that she will be the singer. So
Yeah, she would be Lata Mangeshkar. Like,
yeah,
she must have
exactly.
not imagined that happening at that young age, right? You're
Yeah,
saying that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And there was no pressure to to succeed or something. It came so naturally, and it went with flow. So it was the best thing, which people can really understand towards it, right?
Yeah. So, in all these examples that you gave, your last question's answer just fits in that hard work, luck, and talent aligning
Yeah,
themselves, and all so many other factors aligning themselves together to make a path for one individual.
exactly.
Yeah. So that was really interesting. Wow. Okay. Next, let's talk about, like, you have shared story about the Bill Gates, right?
Mm-hmm.
You shared story about Salvatore, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Hussein Bolt, you gave insights for Lata Mangeshkar. Is
Mm-hmm.
there any other story or case study or example in this book that completely captivated you or just changed your perspective about success? Any other story apart from these we have talked about already?
Okay, so I think in the first few chapters of this book, there is a whole chapter based upon known as Rosetto mystery, and they talked about how people of one certain community are are keeping themselves well, or they are just dying of old age, irrespective of what they eat.
Mm,
uh, and with time they have just developed their body such that even they eat a lot of cheese, they won't have the bad effect of the cheese. Of course, means it depends upon the person also. The whole metabolism of that person, people change of the society, and there was certain factors which contributed it to it. Like people used to walk a lot, like their genes were like they were walking by foot to their work, or anything was done on they were walking, they were eating with their friends, or they were lightheartedly enjoying the life. And they were doing very simple exercises, and they are living very simply, uh, you know although they're eating very bad food, right? What we say as a bad food, they are eating a lot of cheese and all. But
yeah,
they were surprisingly, when the blood test was done, these people blood tests were amazingly good than people of other sects of community, almost eating the same things, right? So it was very insightful to it, to see that wow, all these things really gave up to something which is very insightful. It was hidden in some, some hidden under some things. Like, for example, if there is a series in Netflix which is all about people living more than 100 years. So
mm,
there are, I think, seven blue zones which are identified, seven or nine. So there are blue zones which are identified, and they have just dug down deep, what people actually do in their daily life, the small small activities which really give birth to very good things. Which we find, okay, going to gym is one of the aspect, but people
yeah,
who are just commuting to work, and they are living in a hill, right? They are just walking so much.
yeah,
It is equivalent to gym. So I'm not blaming that going to gym is a bad part to your audience, but at the same time, I'm telling that the small habits which we do regularly on a daily basis gives a huge importance, and it can actually transform your genes altogether. Right?
Definitely. Have you read Ikigai?
Yeah, I did read, but I don't remember, but I think the
But
the
it
whole.
it is on the similar lines because
Yeah,
it is a case like a case study on this Japanese city, right? Where
yeah,
people are like their ages, I don't remember exactly what are the ages, but they are like really old people, but they are very fit and they are doing very basic things. Very
exactly.
basic things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
again, when you were talking, it just hit me like, yeah, we I have read, like, and they were talking about the same thing.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, I'm sorry to take you to the another aspect of Netflix and Prime and all that, but
No, it's
like
okay. It's okay. It is very important because uh, at times, just books can be, they come across as boring to many people, right? So
yeah,
we need,
reading itself is a hard thing.
they do. It does. It's very, we have to accept this fact that they come across boring. So giving them other links, it's not just to read book, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Do something, just something, learn something,
Yeah,
however you can. Either it's a
yeah,
Netflix documentary, it's Prime, it's on Prime or wherever it is. You
yeah,
need to learn something, small, big, doesn't matter. Just learn something from somewhere.
yeah.
And
I mean, learn
when
also and observe. Observe. Like,
observe,
so
yeah.
yeah. So Salvatore was, because I love watching documentary, because from childhood I was very curious to know how the person became who he is now. And
Hmm.
while after reading Outlier, I found, okay, what I was thinking, it was actually true. Because the Malcolm Gladwell has sketched the childhood, or the all the pieces of the puzzle together to really found out, like, why the things happen. So when I was watching Salvatore's story of, for example, one of the I think one of the well known brand car, Langerfield. So his story was also like that. So when I was watching documentary, at the same time I was just fitting the pieces, like, okay, he did, and then he did, and then he did, and now he is what he is.
Yeah.
There are a lot of failures, success, failure, success. It's like a pulsating things. Yeah. And then things happen, right?
Yeah.
And yeah.
So if you are into biographies or autobiographies, I
Mm-hmm.
think you should definitely like read this biography of Elon Musk. Okay,
Oh,
that's I think Isaac has written it. Isaac, wait, just give me 1 second.
okay, okay, take your time, no worries.
Uh, I will find out and tell you the name, exact name.
Yeah, take your time, take your time. Yeah, also, like, I was till the time you search, I when I was just going through the Japanese style of living. So there is one very fascinating thing. So they used to, I think probably today also they must be having, they used to have, which is called a radio torso, um or radio yoga. I'm just
Okay.
forgetting the. So it's like, you know uh, earlier in days, radio was one thing which was common. So
Hmm.
early in the morning, for 10-15 minutes, the radio was on, and instruction were given to do the exercises.
Hmm. Nice.
So everybody, like most of the people in Japanese, like early in the morning, or like whatever the day the radio was aired, so they used to do like 10-20 minutes of that exercise. And that exercise is a very, very basic, right? Doing the
Hmm.
PT, which we used to do in our school, like
Yeah.
Saturday. So
Yes.
they were doing it like every day. So this is something which is, very small. Like,
Yeah.
and yeah, so
And we
small,
have
small.
forgotten it over the years. Like,
Yeah, exactly. It was like something which is culturally built, right? At the same time, they are very rigid in their, way of life, or, the way they think. But at the same time, we can really, just extract the good part of what they're doing.
hmm.
or what, things which we do make things good happen, right? It's good for the health and all. I think Japan is one of the country wherein a lot of people are, more than 100 years.
Yes,
And yeah, I think all around the world, if you see the Asian people, uh, they might be having a lot of wrinkles, but I mean, they do their work like very
but
nicely. Yeah,
at a very later age is also they are able to do their own work, and I
yeah,
think that is the most important part of old age,
yeah, yeah, I
because
mean,
if
exactly.
you
And also,
can take care of yourself at that age,
yeah, yeah,
I think that gives you confidence,
yeah.
and it gives you like a way of life, like, yes, I am
Independent.
self-sustainable,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm independent, right? And
Yeah.
also, yeah, also, like, when I was like, one day I booked a cab because I don't know how to drive. And there was a Japanese guy who was there. He was a driver, and I struck a conversation with him. So, it was a very good thing, right? So he told that every day he used to clean his toilet.
Mm.
Every day he used to clean his toilet. I think most of the people don't do it. Like, they'd call somebody to do it. It's a
Yeah.
very small thing which they means he used to do it, right? It
Mm.
might look very gross, but actually you're using the toilet. Nobody else is doing it, right?
Yeah, you should clean it yourself.
Yeah. So it was very good message. Even, I think like most of the CEOs who are like Japanese, I think couple of them also mentioned somewhere in their speech that, like, they used to do this work. I mean, it's not gross to do the whole. I mean, we are not focusing upon like what he does, but the
Yeah.
attitude. Like, even if whatever position they are in, whatever the place they are living, how much money they are having or earning, irrespective, they are very grounded to the local thing, means to the nature,
Yes.
right? It's things which can be practiced even when you have nothing, or when you can be a CEO, right? So it was very good. I mean, yes.
No, we can actually learn a lot from these people who are sitting at a very higher position in the world, like in a world picture, if we see. So as I was saying, that you should read that biography of Elon Musk
Hmm.
by
Hmm.
Walter Isaacson.
now
Hmm.
Walter Isaacson.
writes biography,
Okay, only
and he has
biography.
written, yeah, and he has written for so many influential people, like Steve
Mm-hmm.
Jobs. For Steve Jobs also he has written, and it is also an amazing book. So
Mm-hmm.
when we read these books,
Mm-hmm.
like when you read about Steve Jobs, how he made such a brand that has taken the world by a wave, and
Mm-hmm.
every year it keeps giving, just keeps
Yeah,
giving, right?
yeah,
Same
yeah.
goes for Elon Musk. If you read his journey, from what
Mm-hmm.
circumstances he has come out, what he has made, and what all he has done. He has not
Mm-hmm.
restricted himself to one thing. He has done
Mm-hmm.
so many diverse things. And I think this few years back, this came in, I think, 2023. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Since
Mm-hmm.
2023, like after 2023, this came out in 2023. So that means it must have been written in 2022. So Elon Musk life till 2022 is in that book. And since
Mm-hmm.
then, what all new he has done, it's still missing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
So so this writer, does he interview people, or like how he get to write
he
it?
he
Like,
he accompanies them. Like what
oh,
I saw of Elon Musk, I saw a lot of interviews
mm-hmm.
where this writer accompanies him everywhere he goes. And he talks to people, related people, everything. And it's
Okay.
in depth. It's like this thick book. It's an in depth opinions of all the characters that were involved in his life.
Oh, nice. Good to know.
Yeah. Okay, so Shifali, let's address the last question. We have
Okay.
talked a lot about outliers, and actually, I am intrigued, and I am going to try my best to pick up this book next because,
That's
as
good.
you know. fiction is my love. Non-fiction is little difficult for me, but I will try because at times I switch genres. So next
Course.
non-fiction book I will try Outliers
Mhm,
definitely,
mhm,
and I hope
mhm.
my viewers will as well.
Yeah,
So
of course.
before we wind this up, what
Mhm.
other books will you recommend all of us to read? Just give me your top favorites.
So, couple of authors which I would like to recommend to all of the your viewers is first, of course, the Malcolm Gladwell. I mean, try to read all the books he has written. I
Okay.
think it will make a big difference in your reading thoughts about reading. Uh,
Okay, so
yeah,
like I have heard his debut novel was The Tipping Point. Have you read that book?
yeah, of course. I mean, it's very good. In the tipping point, he talks about very different psychological aspect. I don't remember currently, but yes, I mean, there are certain like I say, like in Outliers, he has quoted couple of incidences, and then he has just derived that certain things are happening because of that. I mean, tipping point is also kind of that. I mean, he the way he writes is he described the things right from the scratch,
Okay.
so it's a cause and effect type of thing which he just says it.
So
And the
have you
other,
read all this Gladwell books? All of them?
yeah, almost all of them. So when
All
I
of them. Wow, that's great.
yeah, so when I just got the got attracted to Outliers after reading it, then I just had then I read all the the books which he has written, because I was attracted to the writer's aspect. So I was like, oh, well, it's great, let's dig to the other books.
Let's find out what he says more.
Yeah, exactly. What are the other aspects which I might be observing,
Yeah,
or and it's good to read. Yeah, the
yeah,
other writer which I recommend is Daniel Goleman. I have
mhm,
also read, I mean, couple of books which he has written.
yeah,
One of the most, I mean, talked about books, I think, for me is Emotional Intelligence. It's a
yeah.
very good,
I have
and
heard of that. Yeah,
yeah, it's a very good book to read. The other book, which is very good to read, is Thinking Fast and Slow. It's by another writer.
yeah.
Dan-
Daniel Kahneman. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
I you
exactly,
can you can. I have read this book. Thank God, I have read one non-fiction book that I can actually tell you about as well. Yes, yes, finally. So yeah, I have read this book, and there is a review for this book also available on my channel. And I
I
think
think
I
read
read
it.
this book twice.
Oh, nice.
Either I
Good.
don't read non-fiction or just I read, so I read.
Oh,
Read
good, good.
twice
That's
because
good.
I had to just whatever he was saying
Mm-hmm.
was firstly it is too much at times because you have it's not just reading na, you need to
Yeah,
remember it, then you need to apply some good things in your life as well.
yeah,
Otherwise
exactly.
there is no use, right, to
Yeah,
read thick books and not apply a single thing to your life. So
yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I like that one. You have read this book, right, as
Yeah.
well? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, so that was
Yeah.
good. Any other recommendations?
Currently, I am not able to think. I mean, like, I think couple of books you already covered in your channel, I guess. The Homo sapiens one. And one of the good book I read last year, it's Smartest Kid on Earth. So,
Okay.
yeah, so it's very, I mean, uh, so as I said, I read the book by its title. So when
Yeah.
I was very, intrigued by the title, and when I just read it, but they have, the author has described the book like a case study. So it's very good book to read. I mean, I don't believe it's like a psychological aspect of more of a psychological, but it's more like a case study base. I mean, with the
Yeah.
evidences, the author is trying to convey the message, why things are happening, and why things. So yeah, it's like that. I mean, it's a very good book to read. I think the same. I don't remember the name of the author, but the the smartest kid on earth. This book's author has also written book which is, I don't remember the name of the book, but it describes how the 9/11 attack took place.
Oh,
I mean, the attack took place, like the psychology, you know, of it. Like, because in 1993, there was the attack which took place the first time, for the first time.
okay.
Yeah, and at the same point, like, and how the people have reacted that time, and the author has taken, that incidents into consideration after 9/11 also. So I mean, it's very, and also, like, the author has also given like certain psychological aspect which people do keep in mind, like when things happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah, talking about the author, and the same author, like, there was very good, aspect which the author noted, and I have personally, faced it. So she told in the book that, when the 9/11 attack happened in the buildings, and there was evacuation um alarm which has gone, and people, with that time, people were not lift, using the lift, they were using the staircase. And she told, automatically all the people started to line up, in a very you know uh, very nicely, while they were, stepping down of stairs. So it was, there was no chaos which was you know um, done while they were just going out. They were very much decently aligned, while just, going just on the time of evacuation. Same
Wow.
incidents, I mean, not the same incidents, like similar incidents I have faced when I was staying in one of the hotels, and there was a fire alarm which started blowing up um, during the night time, and like uh, everybody was started lining up, and they were just going down, and everybody followed this rules which were, just instructed. So when I was,
Wow.
doing it, and I was just, going down the stairs, I just remember the lines of this author when she described, how people react in case of, emergencies. And
Wow.
I mean, certain things which these authors write, I mean, the beauty of the authors is that they actually observe the minutest human observation or human act which people do. So
Yeah.
when, there was another, I'm sorry, I'm just,
No, it's
taking
okay. It's
time.
okay. The more insights we can get.
So there was very very interesting thing, which happened like during 9/11. Like, people, I mean, when people come to office, right, they do carry some of the stuff with them, like
Mm.
books, phones, and all that,
Yeah.
other things, I mean, miscellaneous things. So she described, I mean, some of the people at the time of evacuation, or they sensed it. I mean, the first, for the first things which comes into mind, whether this thing is actually happening to them or not. I mean,
Mm.
is this real or not? And you have to act very quickly at that
Mm.
same time, right? So there was a surprising notice which the author, just has written in the book, is that people started, grabbing their books, which they like the most, or grabbing articles which they might like the most
Mm.
while evacuation process. So, and when you observe, when we just sit in the airplane, when they instruct at the start of the flight that, during the evacuation phase, during the emergency phase, you have to leave all your luggages and all. So it's a
Yeah.
very, it's a very minute thing, and we don't actually, we don't pay that much attention, or we don't put more thought into it, but actually people do it. I mean, consciously they do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, good book to actually, add on to your list. I just forget your name. I just forget the name of the author, but you can just browse it and see the
Yeah.
smartest kid.
I will put in the book and the author name in the video in the edit.
Yeah.
Don't worry. So that
Thank you
we
for
have
that.
so many new recommendations from Shefali and all good recommendations. We should definitely try and read some of them, of course. Not we cannot read all of them, but
Okay.
some of them. There can be a start to this, right?
Yeah, of
And maybe
course.
we find our way and just read all books like Shefali has already read Gladwell's all the books. So maybe we find them so interesting that we actually start reading these kind of books more,
Yeah, of
right?
course. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so thank you, Shefali, for joining me and taking out so much of your precious time for this channel and for my viewers. And I hope to see you again on this channel very soon with some other book, maybe. Yeah?
Thank you. Thank you. It was honor to be part of your channel and to talk about the books which I read. It's good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So maybe next time I can tell you more about my fiction journey.
Of
Yeah?
course. We can just switch the seats.
Yeah, we can just switch it up. Okay, so bookworms, this was all about outliers, and we heard so much from Shifali. I hope you liked the podcast or an interview or conversation, whatever you want to call this. This was a new start. I was trying something new, and I want to give where credit is due. This actually was Shifali's idea. She initiated this, she took the lead on this, and now finally we made it happen.
Mhm.
So, see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And definitely hit the notification bell for more bookish content, cozy read alongs, and so much more. I will see you next time. Until then, happy reading and keep watching.
Bye bye.